Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Crack Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Crack Podcast.
You better cut that out.
You're on with your host, Mabricio Mookie Wilson, and I'm joined by my two partners and co-hosts. Let's give it up to over 100 caps in the U.S. national team. Is here for Mr. Damarcus Beasley.
What up?
Holding down the fort is my man with the
under 100 caps.
No, you have 67 caps and six goals.
Wrong.
It's not 67?
69, baby. Come on.
Oh, my bad. 69 caps.
Should have been 70.
Hey, don't short the man now.
Hey, two caps is some people
It's actually 70, but then we're gonna keep.
Hey, he worked hard for them caps. You can't be cutting out his caps.
Hard.
So Matt, let me get it straight though. Is it 70, 67, 69, 70? Which one is it?
Wikipedia says, U.S. Soccer and Wikipedia say 69. In my
What
mind,
do you say?
I say
on Transfer Market, it says 69.
So why do you say 70?
Because there's a game they didn't count.
Which one?
I don't remember.
Hey, Mook, it's 69. It's 69. It's 69.
Hey, listen, if you don't know, the man name is Oguchi Onyewu. Put some respect on that man.
Hey, but I ain't gonna lie though. Hey, that is true. I'll agree with you on one thing, Gooch. With Wikipedia, because even some of the goals that they say they said, they put out the number of goals. I've scored more goals than they put out on my name.
Yeah.
Wikipedia.
Well, here's the
Just
thing.
saying.
I went to transfermarket.com because I didn't want to go to Wikipedia because Wikipedia is always wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong.
So transfermarket.com.
Yeah, they never counted none of my what do you call it? Like cup goals. You know what I'm saying? Like the Carling Cup or the Scottish Cup. All those games they never counted.
So Bees, let's get it straight though. Transfermarket.us has you at 126 games, 17 goals.
Oh yeah, national team. Yeah, I'm talking about club teams. National team. Yeah,
but
I was the 126. Yeah, national team is correct. Yeah.
My national team stats is wrong. They got it wrong. I know, and to be honest, I've seen some of Bees' highlight clips on YouTube, and some of them are like Freddie Adu and Fafa Picault.
That's YouTube. That's YouTube. YouTube is.
I said, this ain't me.
You couldn't tell the difference. Hey, back in my heyday, I was all right. I was all right. I could move now. I did all right. And then they moved me back to left back, and that was the end of my career.
Nah, that wasn't the end. That wasn't the end. That was a resurrection. But yo, Gooch, you really had 6 goals for the national team?
Probably more, really.
Yo, see, you can't talk to this man.
No, real talk. Truth
you
talk.
don't remember 6 goals? Like, you didn't score 100 goals, you can't remember.
Right.
You don't remember all your goals for national team?
They're like friendlies, there's like official games, all that stuff. I don't know.
No. Oh, friendlies count, but we're not talking about training sessions. Friendlies count because
I'm about to smack you through the.
But you said friendlies. Friendlies obviously count.
Okay, well then yes.
Because I never scored.
Whatever it says in the goals, I don't know.
Oh goodness, here we go.
I don't remember.
He knows how many goals.
Yo, real
He
talk.
only know.
I think I gave you an assist of one, didn't I?
Did you ever pass the ball?
Wow. Wow. Hey man, that's what people didn't give me credit for. I was a decent passer as well.
Bees would pass to himself and then find the ball.
I tried to.
Oh man. No, listen, we have to celebrate also. I wanted to make sure our listeners and our crack crew understand that there's no better conversation about the U.S. men's national team than talking with these two gentlemen right here. And as we go in from the friendlies that the caps count and the goals count that the United States just played against Jamaica and Northern Ireland. It was an interesting week of games, and we had a lot of new players. And I just want to hear from you guys who do you guys thought did well, showed well, and helped their ability to be on the final 18 roster for the World Cup?
23
roster.
All right, Gooch, I'll let you hit this one first.
All right. I liked how Kellen Acosta played himself back into the national team. That number 6 is a hard position to lock down. Everyone's already given it blindly to Tyler Adams, and that probably rightfully so. But I think in the 2 games, even though it wasn't the best competition, obviously, that we will be playing, I think he did well to be able to cover a lot of ground, connect the defense to the attack, and actually get into the attack at some time. So I think Kellen Acosta did a good job.
Wait.
Whoa.
Did you see the Northern Ireland game, that first half?
Listen, I said what I said. Oh wait, hold up. So are we basing people based on
No,
half?
I would never base it. I
Because-
was just throwing that little in there. But yes, we're not gonna judge it on a half or a game. Kellen
Okay.
Costa is a good player, and yes, he worked his way back to the national team. He
right.
had a blunder in the first half, but yes, he is a good player. I was just talking shit.
You see this? Hold on, let me finish. The other person I thought did a good job was making his debut was Reynolds, coming from the FC Dallas Academy and everything like that, going overseas, going to Italy. I think, for his first cap, he played confident. He got in the attack. He wasn't scared to have the ball. He got physical. So I liked his gameplay as well. Any other standouts? Besides, Anthony Robinson did better than he has in past games. I'll give him that. He wasn't.
He said, "I'll give him that."
I'll give him that.
You did not want to give him no credit.
No, but I will say in the games that I've seen prior to this, I wasn't impressed with him. Right? He just seemed like the old school English outside back that just goes forward and tries to cross the ball.
That what he did to a team.
Well, I mean, you saw some technical dribbling out of him. Maybe it's because the team was a lesser caliber. Like, I'm just saying, like, he played better, and I'm being objective, right? And he played better in these games than he did in the prior games to us.
Yeah.
Bees, you're up.
I agree with you on Kellen. Obviously, everyone can have a bad game, everybody can have a bad half, but to get himself back in that team, I think it was 2 years or something like that before he's kind of getting out. He's been out of it, and now he's getting his run back with the national team. So I'm happy to see him get that chance and see him do well. Mine were I liked, and y'all probably gonna say I'm biased because he is probably my favorite player on national team right now, is Brendan Harrison.
Yeah, but that's
no. But this is like his first time being with the team. You know what I'm saying?
Since
like,
Europe.
Yeah, because he came in the January camp. And he did okay. That was his first time with the national team, this and that. And now he played with Philadelphia, and then he went over to Salzburg.
Mm-hmm.
But this is his first time with basically close to our A team, close to our A team. And he did well. I think he did well when he came into the game. I think he changed, even the Northern Ireland game. He only got a little cameo, I think maybe 25, 30 minutes.
He made trouble.
He made trouble. Him getting on the ball, his quickness and, his change of direction is phenomenal. I know you guys are going to say it's, because that's my favorite player, but I just think him now being with the so-and-so first team, our A team, kind of like as close as we can get to it right now. I think he showed well, and he showed that he deserved to be there.
I think it's funny. Now he's your favorite player.
Yeah, he's my favorite player.
But I remember last year, he was like, "Who's this guy playing?" I'm like,
"Yeah, I know.
He's already on the national team.
What he doing? And I started watching. I was like, "Okay, yes." That's why. Hey, I call him Silky. He's smooth.
He is.
And I liked Aaron Long. I thought he was. I think he's solidifying his role and his position next to Brooks. I think. I don't think he put a foot wrong almost in either game. I know that, like Gooch said, the competition wasn't as strong as they'll be facing, even through CONCACAF qualifying or in European friendlies. But we need to have two center backs, and actually we need 4 center backs that we can rely on. So if one goes down, we got another guy to come up and play a significant role if someone gets injured. So I don't think Long did himself any wrong in his play against Jamaica and Northern Ireland. I like him. I think he's a really good player, strong. He's got good pace. He's good on the ball. So I think he's solidifying his spot more than it has in the past. And I got to get one more, Stephen. And I say that because I remember when I was talking about when I was on CBS, and I was saying, hey, he's not been playing. You never know. You need your goalkeeper to be playing games, to be confident, and get into the run of game. Get into the flow of the game. But I thought the times that he had to make saves, he made saves. The times that he had to play with his feet, he did. What's that?
Nothing. Go ahead. I'm patiently waiting. Go ahead.
No, I just think because he played a game He started a match at Man City before he came into the national team. He played these 2 games. So I mean, that's what goalkeepers need. They need to run games. They need confidence. They need to play. So if he doesn't play, it's still a spot in that team that I'm a little bit wary about, because our goalkeeper needs to be playing day in and day out with his club team to come into the full team. But he didn't do himself any, huh?
You thought he did well.
Yeah,
a person who played one game
that hasn't played. No, but he hasn't played. He played. That's my point. He hasn't played with Man City.
Here comes the big bad wolf. He's itching to get some commentary.
Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah, he didn't get that. It wasn't the game. The 2 games that they played wasn't against great competition. But when he had to make saves, he made saves. And so my point is that the fact that he hasn't played with Man City, I thought he did well. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, cool.
Oh Lord.
First thing I want to say, how nobody gonna mention my boy Musa.
Yeah.
He was consistent every game he played for U.S. national team. He gives us a different dynamic of dribbling and penetrating down the middle, in the midfield. But I want to talk about Zach a little bit, because for me, that's the biggest concern. We're known in the U.S. to have solid goalkeepers, and Zach is a person who's supposed to be comfortable on his feet. But do we not see the blunder when they passed the ball back and the ball went out of bounds and went through his legs? Oguchi, you don't remember that?
I remember it. I don't know what you
hold on
me for.
The only goal that was, 2 goals that were scored. One, he was chipped, and the other one was a hell of a rocket from a difficult angle. But the way he dived, he jumped with 2 hands like Jesus for a ball that he should have jumped off with 1 foot and kind of flipped over.
So you're a goalkeeper coach now?
I forgot Mookie's the goalkeeper coach now.
No, I'm a footballer. So
I'm a footballer too, but I wouldn't say
how many goalkeepers you see jump off of 2 feet off a ball that's above their head. That he had to do is flick it over the crossbar. It was a hard screamer shot, but he had a tough angle. So I have to look at Zach as somebody who at fault at that. And again, it's not that about his talents. It's because the man is out of form. He is out of form, and in no way, shape, form coming for the end of the season, going into the summer and moving forward for next season. He's never gonna get any playing time.
Well, never. Yeah, and that's what I do agree with you on that. I said that is the only position, well, not only position, but that's one of the biggest positions that I'm worried about, because he's not going to play at Man City, especially now. It's getting down to the last 8-9 games of the season. They need to win. What's his name? Ederson's going to play every week.
So I got a question.
Hold on, Gooch, before you get off that.
No, I'm not getting off of it.
Okay, one thing I want to say to Bees, you did not say something that he did exceptional. You said that he was okay. I
said it for someone that hasn't played in a while, or a run of games. I said the saves that he had to make. No, I just said the saves that he had to make, he made. That's all I'm saying. This is probably me going more so on I was a player. I'm looking at his, on kind of his side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not more so on a fans or an outsider looking in. I'm looking at it as my player brain, going on. And I'm like, okay, he hasn't played. The times that he did have to make saves, he made saves. Yes, he had a mistake or two in it, but that's going to happen. And the way they want to play, they got to be bold and play. He's got to have that confidence to get those games. And like you said, maybe he was a little bit out of form, but I just think when he had to make saves in the times that Northern Ireland or Jamaica got down, I think he did.
I got a question for you, B.
Decently. Yes,
I agree that a position like goalkeeper should have some level of consistency in their club, right? Mm-hmm. If they're going to lead a national team. Would you say, if this continues with Zach, that he stays on Man City without going loaned or getting game time, would you still want him to be your starting goalkeeper?
No.
Okay, with that said, I would like to ask both of y'all, I don't care who goes first, flip a coin. Today, who's your starting 11?
Starting 11? Today, right now.
Today.
You want me to go first, or you go first?
You go.
All right, well, today. Because today, I'm still, right now, I'm
fools for our crew.
All right, so right now, I'm still going with Stefan in goal. I right now, today, not during World Cup qualifying. Today, right now.
Okay, but would you say today Stefan is playing better than a Matt Turner?
But Matt, they're in preseason.
I'm just saying today. This is today, right, Mook?
Today. Yes, today.
I mean, I gotta be honest.
All right, but you know what? Say your 11. Say your 11.
Thank
Gooch.
you.
Every crook I knew, they always started off. I gotta be honest.
I'm
just saying because I haven't really seen Matt Turner play that much. That's what I'm going to say. Right. I want to be honest and have a real opinion. Anyway, okay, so I'll say Stephen.
Okay.
This I had to kind of think about because I like Des when he's right, and I'm going with 4 in the back, not 5.
Okay.
So I'm just going Cannon on the right, Long, Brooks, and Des on the left. I don't think we have a left back yet. I don't think we have a naturally left-footed player to play left back. So I'm going with Des, and I feel confident with Cannon on the right. I'm going with the midfield with Tyler, Weston, and Musa. And then I'm going with Christian on the left. I'm going with Sargent up top. And then you already know who I'm going to say for the right. At this point right now, I'm putting in Brandon Harrison. Silky. I'm putting him. I thought about because I thought about Reyna, and I thought about even Weah because he's been doing well at Lille, but I just the way that they want to play and have the ball and play from inside to go out, have the outside backs make get forward and use them as another option in the attack. I think it's okay for the two wingers to play more inside. You know what I'm saying? Try to find.
I'm not gonna lie, Bees.
And try to find a game. But I mean, I like your 11. If you need to stretch the game, I think Sargent he can do that. And then obviously on the bench, you got DK.
Oh, he's gonna give us the bench.
No. I'm just saying give us the dynamic. I'm just saying give a different dynamic in the game. If that's not working, we could have different options to if the outside backs. If the outside backs or the center backs aren't quick and they're holding a high line. But we're still trying to feed the ball into Christian and feed the ball into.
All right. Next. Okay, Mookie, go. I know he's itching right now. He's smiling his little New York smile. Go on.
Well, here's the thing, though, right? I have to try to.
Politician.
Yeah, I have to try to kind of throw some curveballs in there.
No, just whatever your limit is.
You don't do things just to be an a-hole. Yeah. Just say what you want.
Yeah, okay. You're 11.
The best goalkeeper we have is Zach Steffen, so he has to start in the goal.
All right.
Our best outside right, I'm gonna go with.
Wait. Are you giving us the best or who you would want today to start?
Okay, let me repeat. Let me change my words. Today, how I want starting at the outside right is going to be Tyler Adams.
Okay.
As center back, I was hoping to see more out of Chris Richards because I see him playing in Hoffenheim every week, and he does phenomenal.
Well. Yeah, he does.
And he has not looked comfortable as yet in the U.S. soccer game the past two matches. So as of today, I have to start Aaron Long at the right center back. Even though I think Aaron Long is not the future, I think for the World Cup, I think we'll have we need a better choice. Who's
next?
Yeah, keep going.
Goodness gracious.
At left center back, as of now, I have to pick John Brooks. It was so hard not picking Tim Ream, but I had to pick John Brooks.
This is April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day.
And then at left back, I have to pick Serginho Dest. And inside my midfield, I'm going to be a little different. I'm going to pick Weston, Musa, and Sebastian Lletget.
Really?
And in my attack, I'm going to start up front. It was between DK and our new player that we have who I really, really like due to the game I've watched him play with the young boys is Sabachu, right?
Yeah.
Sabachu, I think, is the best combination of a striker who can hold the ball, get us high, and also can play off the ball into space, and also has a good touch to lay balls off for Pulisic, who's going to start on my left-hand side. And on my right side, I'm going to start Gio Reyna.
All right, Gooch.
Okay, so at goal, I too will go with Zach. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt right now because I am. The right back, in my opinion, is the question mark on this national team that's wide open. So later on down the line, you might find Reynolds, you might find Cannon, you might find Yedlin working his way back in because he's playing well in Galatasaray.
Oh yeah.
So you see how you put the accent on it?
Yeah.
It's just Galatasaray.
He's still DeAndre Yedlin running around.
Galatasaray.
All right. So for me right now, it's going to be Cannon. It's going to be Reggie, but he really has. I believe Reynolds is going to start putting pressure on him. I truly believe, and as he plays more in Europe. So I'm gonna put Reggie.
Yeah, he's got to play at Roma. He's got to play.
Yeah, he will. He will. And if he doesn't, Roma's gonna loan him out because they've invested in him.
True. All right, center backs.
So
you think he's gonna get? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Center backs, Mark McKenzie.
Wow.
And
is that because he's your friend?
He is my friend. Yes, and no, but it's not just because he's my friend. I think that Aaron Long has been playing well. But I think Mark McKenzie is the future. And right now he's the present. He's playing in Europe. I've been getting calls from multiple journalists and people in Belgium saying about how well he's adapting, how well the public's receiving him.
He got the inside. He got the
Gooch,
inside.
Unfortunately, though, he hasn't been playing recently. That's the reason why
I understand that. I understand that.
The rest of this year he won't play.
But neither has Zach Steffen. So if you're going to use that,
but we had no options on the Jack Steffen. Who else would put behind him?
You could put. What do you mean?
I'm like Beasley.
Okay, wait.
Can I finish my list?
But you keep.
You're right. Go on.
Why this? Why that? I just said my 11 and I called it. Calling it.
Had that conversation.
Go. Let's go. What do you got?
No, I was gonna say. So, would you rather have a non-informed or a confident player playing in the center back position or the goalkeeper position? Because if Marvin Kinsey, if you got Marvin Kinsey that's not Marvin Kinsey's not playing, and you got Zach Steffen's not playing, you gotta take a gamble on one.
I'm taking
take a gamble on the center back position.
I prefer personally to have. If you had to flip one of the two, I'd take the person less informed as a center back than rather the goalkeeper.
Really?
Personally, yeah.
Because center back playing 90 minutes.
Because you have other people that can compensate for that center back with his other center back or his right back or whatever. There's way he can hide his performance as a goalkeeper.
I don't agree with that.
I'm
just saying I don't agree. That's all.
I personally agree. If you're playing as a player within a system like that, there's ways to hide your deficiencies because you're playing off of the other players.
Good teams will figure that out within 5 minutes.
Yes, but good teams will figure that out with a bad goalkeeper too.
Takes longer.
But if you have two strong informed defenders, or even a backline, or two center backs,
look.
Hopefully,
my point is
less work for the goalkeeper.
I don't think that Mark is out of form. I just think he hasn't.
Yeah, no. I hear you.
Yes, he hasn't been getting playing time. There's an adaptation period.
Wait, that doesn't relate to each other though. Playing time and form. We're not saying about his talent. We're talking about
necessarily.
Not always. Yeah, not always.
So, Beasley,
go ahead. Keep going. Next center back.
Hold on. So, Beasley, you come in. Each of you had situations where you weren't playing at the time with your club.
Yeah.
You got called into the national team. Do you felt, and you have 2 practices, maybe get ready for a game. You felt that you were equally prepared, and equal at the level when you were in form and when you were playing game in, game out with your club team?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There you
Sometimes,
go.
yeah. It's not written in stone that you're always going to be out of form just because you haven't played. And it's always going to be in form when you don't, you know what I'm saying? There's no wrong or right, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because you can catch fire.
That's a strong statement, Bees. That's a strong
statement. You can catch fire in any game.
There's no universal formula for it, right? Everybody is different.
Everyone's different. So you literally, if you haven't played, I mean, anywhere, not even national team, if you're out in the cold for 2 or 3 months and then you come back, it could be even from an injury you haven't played, and you come back and score 2 goals, but you haven't played in 2 months. Mm-hmm. Then what you gonna say?
Look at. Yes, I'm going to give you an example. Charlie Davies was out for multiple years. Comes back his first game with DC. He scored 2 goals against Columbus.
Yeah.
Boom.
What did he do his second game?
I don't remember, but you're talking about, was he informed? Yeah, he was informed. He killed it.
Okay.
He killed it. So like,
go center back.
Right, so I think that Mark would compliment Brooks the best. They both are comfortable on the ball. Mark has that speed, athleticism. I think he's the future, and he's young. He's got that youth on him. Aaron is doing well, but I truly believe that Mark edges him out for all these other reasons.
I'd love to hear, before you move on, your thoughts on Chris Richards.
Chris Richards,
to Mark McKenzie.
So My analysis of Chris is the same as you. I wanted to see more of him in the national team shirt, but he doesn't seem to have that level of comfort yet. It's almost like he's nervous playing in the back there, or he's just kind of jittery, or it's not as fluid as I'd like him to be. Will he get there? Who knows? Some players play better with club than they do with national team. You know what I mean? And sometimes it doesn't translate. Look at Giorena. You know, even though he scored a goal, I think he plays much better with Dortmund than he does with the national team, perhaps because of the role that he has within the team, the freedom, etc. But yeah, Richard. So then on the left is Dest, because for me, this player is by far, probably even a little bit more than Christian, the most comfortable on the ball in that whole group. Like, he wants the ball, he likes the ball, he barely loses the ball in possession. Even in his interview, you saw how he said, you know, I don't have a preference left or right. It just depends on how I wake up that day and feel, you know, and which is crazy, right? Because some players be like, nah, I prefer the left, or he's like, nah, for me, it's cool, either side. In the midfield, Tyler Adams in center, and Musa and Weston just a little bit in front of him. I think the two of them, Weston and Musa, will just eat up. Oh, the three of them really just going to eat up midfield. Like the ground that the three of those can cover and then transition into the attack. I mean, I don't see a better trio than those in the midfield. And then at the top, our goal scorers will be Christian, Silky, and the point man, I am going to go with Jazzy.
Bomba.
Who?
Yeah. Zardis. So
I think you misspelled. I think you're trying to say Josie.
No, Jazzy.
Yeah.
So everybody forgets about him, right? So Sibachu, great, but it's only one game we've seen, and I want to see more of him. He has a lot of talent. He has a lot of promise. DK, he's playing really well in the championship, but he's still only on his second year of pro, even though it's really good. I want to see him develop, because that kind of player we never have had in the national team, you know, with that size and that domination up front and that strength.
Josie wasn't similar?
Nah, man, it's a different. DK's like baby Shaq. DK's like what's that basketball player that came out of Duke?
Williamson, Zion.
He's like a Zion. Josie was like a man child when he was 18, but it was a different man child.
Man child.
And then Sargent, really good. He's a workhorse, right? He's that player that's going to run and do all the dirty work, but I want him to score, right? And I need that 9 to like score. He creates chances and opportunities, and I almost feel bad for him because he doesn't get
the opportunities.
Goals.
They use him for everything but scoring goals at Bremen.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think we have better options than we had last World Cup in terms of as a striker. I think I'm looking forward to Zardis getting back his name and recognition as the season starts. And
let me just add, with our forwards, like, even if you want to put Josie in there, so you put Josie, you put Zardis, you put Sargent, you put DK, you put Sabachu, you put even Tim Weah, you put all these people, like, they're all different.
Yeah.
They're all complete, like, they give you different dynamics.
Which is good.
Yeah,
it's a good problem. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. So that's mine.
You know, what's interesting is that we do have a very young team. I was watching the interview with Sebastian the Jet, and he was like, he's 28 and he's like the elder, right? And he feels weird because he doesn't have that many national team camps, and he only really started getting featured when Greg Berhalter came in. So he said he looks around, he can't find the Michael Bradleys and the guys who really were the leaders of the team. But in saying that, we had almost over 10 players who were under 23 who could have played with the Olympic qualifying team and did not feature. And some people say for us to not qualify again for the Olympics is the arrogance of the United States national team thinking they could have qualified with the team they had. And looking at the team before the qualifying games, I wasn't excited about the team. There's nobody on there. I was like, man. And I'm thinking having a person like Silky add to that bunch they had would have made a huge difference. Now, asking you players, does do the club say I can let you go for a senior team, but not for Olympic qualifying? Like, say if Silky was on the roster for Olympic qualifying.
It's not FIFA mandate. So so the clubs can say, no, I'm not releasing you for Olympic qualifying, but I'll release you for FIFA friendly or FIFA. Yeah, they can say no, and which they did. Well, that's what we heard.
No, we don't know that. But
that's what I'm saying. We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they say like Aronson. I mean, you can even say Christian. All the guys that could have played the qualifying. If they ask Christian and ask these guys, do you want to play in qualifying for the U23s? We don't know that. I don't know if that question was asked. I have no idea. If someone has some inside scoop, please let me know.
We might have to do hit them up.
But no, they are not. They are not able to release their under 23 players for that tournament. No.
Well, listen, we had an exciting 2 weeks of U.S. soccer, right? Not only do we have games for the senior team, the U23, we also have some games coming up with the women's teams, but we also had some drama on Twitter, right? And everybody's talking about U.S. national team not qualifying for Olympics. We all saw the results. We all saw the games. I won't ask you guys about your opinion on that, but I will ask you guys, like, are we in a terrible place right now for U.S. soccer, or is this just something we need to brush under the rug?
Oh, no, definitely not that. I mean, it's not good. We can't. How can we brush something under the rug that we haven't done in the last 3 years? Or, sorry, in the last 12 years or the last 3 years?
And the reason I say that, B, is because some people don't value the Olympics and they say that's not a reflection of the development.
That's the wrong attitude to have. Mm-hmm. How is not your second string of stars that should be all professionals, which they are, coming up and having to play in a meaningful competition against meaningful countries? Yeah. How is that not going to help develop our under 22, 23 players to be on the World Cup stage or be in the World Cup qualifying? I don't understand how people can say that, oh, it doesn't mean anything. It is a world tournament. You're playing against some of the best players in that age group in the world. Well, yeah. You have a chance to win an Olympic medal.
Yeah.
How? I don't understand. I mean, I just don't understand who is saying. I mean, I do know. I've seen some of the things you've read as well. People saying, "Oh, it doesn't matter. It's the Olympics. We didn't have our full team." All this nonsense.
Yeah, I think you could say that if we qualified for the last World Cup and did well, but obviously not qualifying for the last World Cup, not qualifying for the U20 World Cup.
Even if we did qualify for the last World Cup, not qualifying for this Olympics again
in our region is terrible. But Gooch, before you answer, I just want to play our
say what?
And it's from Bruce Arena, who
Big Bruce,
you guys, former manager who had a long stay as running the helm on U.S. national team and the federation. But Bruce was asked, obviously, what do you think that needs to be changed with U.S. soccer to get better? Here's his response.
Well, this is my opinion, right? My opinion may not mean a hell of a lot to anybody. I think the sport in our country has become highly, highly political. There's a financial aspect to it that's often thought about first before the technical side of it. I think people that are decision makers in the sport in our country are more politicians than they are technical people. And therefore, when they make decisions or they hire people to make decisions, I don't think they necessarily make the right decisions all the time because they don't have the experience in the game.
There you go right there. The man, the myth, somebody who keeps it real and not scared to say what he feels, obviously writing the book. But he made a point, right? That I think that you guys have expressed numerous times and times over and over again, is that people who are decision makers in the game are not really the best technical.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that? I'll start with you, Gooch.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gooch. The host, the man, the myth, the legend has spoken. Sorry.
Go ahead, B.
No. Who's the boss?
I think he's right. Obviously, but in every industry, there's going to be a level of politicalness. There's definitely people within the soccer landscape that have no business understanding in soccer whatsoever. So I do believe that more people that have been involved in soccer, whether it be a high level or not, be at the level of decision makers. But to go back a little bit in regards to the Olympics and the team not qualifying, and some of the people use an excuse of we're still in a period of excitement because we have this young group and the Olympics shouldn't matter and we should be worrying about the World Cup and only the World Cup and that's what matters. Yes, we're in a level of excitement. Yes, we have a nice, vibrant, young group of players, but U.S. soccer's mission statement is to make soccer the preeminent sport in the United States. You cannot make soccer the preeminent sport if you don't care about the top level competitions like the Olympics, right? So whether, you're saying, oh, it's a second tier tournament to the World Cup, it's still important and it gives you that experience to compete, right? And now what happens is, yet again, our young players have missed out on an opportunity to compete. And so later on, if they fail, we're going to, what did we say? Oh, they just didn't have this experience. They didn't play in this. They didn't have this. So ultimately what ends up happening is we want these young players to perform at the highest level, but we don't care when they don't perform at the levels prior to that, right? So for me, it contradicts itself. Like, I'm not saying that because we didn't qualify for the Olympics, we won't do well in qualifying for the World Cup or we won't do well in the World Cup. But I am saying that in regards to the development of soccer in this country, we need to hold every single competition, international competition, major FIFA competition, to a higher standard.
And with the same importance.
With the same importance. Like, you couldn't tell Beasley and myself when we were playing with the U17 in the World Championships that wasn't the biggest stage in the world at the time as a player.
But to be fair, did you guys jump at the opportunity to play with the Olympic team?
I mean, what you mean?
Well, B said he did cry. No, I'm
we
saying
didn't-
like
we didn't qualify within our age group.
Yeah, and B said he did cry when he didn't make it initially. So it did mean something to you. And then, but Gooch, I'm trying to be devil's advocate. I mean, like the times they ask you to play with the Olympic
the time that they asked me, I was an overage player. It was 2008, and at that time, I needed a break. So that was a personal decision, right?
Yeah.
But we had qualified, right? And so with saying that, it still gave the younger players that opportunity. Mabricio even stated the importance that the Olympics had on his career. He would have never made that move to Rangers had it not been for the Olympics.
Very true. So many players.
Yeah, there's a lot of players that use that as a stage. So people saying like, oh, the Olympics aren't even important, this and that, like, they don't know what they're talking about. Those are people that just stay in front of their computer or in their TV and actually don't know the inner workings of the sport and the importance of each competition that you play in, right? I would have never been able to go to Europe had it not been for the 17th and the 20 World Championship.
Yeah.
Facts, period.
Facts.
Right? Like that's the bottom line. So our youth competition is a platform that leads us to the importance of the World Cup, right? We need this. Otherwise, let's just scrap it all and just watch TV when the men's team plays, right? Like, it makes no sense.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, there's not one thing you said that I disagree with. And just go on. I know I don't want to skip back and forth, but just going on the with Bruce and what he said and say what I agree with Bruce, and I've been saying this for a long time. I mean, you see it in U.S. soccer, you see it in MLS. These owners, granted, they've never played a game in their life, which is fine. They have the money. They support the game. As far as financially, financially. But are they putting the right people in the president's spot, the vice presidents, the general managers, all those players? I mean, all these people that make the decisions. What Bruce is saying.
So who is Bruce specifically talking about? Damarcus, Beasley, and Oguchi.
I mean, most of the clubs. I mean, I'm not going to.
No. But he's talking about U.S. soccer and the hiring and the people who are doing the hiring process.
He didn't say U.S. soccer. He said the soccer landscape in America.
Okay. So he's talking about, like you're saying, he's talking about the GMs. I want specific names, that guys who we know is part of the staff of U.S. Soccer, part of the MLS mafia, who we feel that our politicians are not there to really give good advice or really have a technical advice towards the decisions they make for U.S. Soccer.
I mean, aren't Ernie Stewart and Brian McBride, aren't they the decision makers in U.S. Soccer? I mean, I don't know if their title is just the first team.
Here's what I want to know: who the hell makes the decision to hire Jason Christ?
I don't know. I don't know. That's
a person that wasn't successful really in the MLS, right?
I think that I might be wrong, but I think that Ernie, because Ernie is the sporting director,
right?
U.S. Soccer, and Brian McBride is the general manager, and so, in my understanding of that kind of pyramid or ladder, I would think that Ernie has a hand in all of the hirings of every youth coach. From the 17s, the 20s, the 23s, etc. I may be wrong.
I mean, I'm looking at it just as the bigger picture, not just because what Bruce said. He didn't just pinpoint U.S. Soccer. He said in the soccer landscape, all of soccer, and it is true. I mean, you have presidents and vice presidents and general managers that's never played and never knew anything about the game of soccer, but they know business. They know how to put butts in the seats. They know how to sell tickets. They know how to get sponsorships, and it's all about money and politics. But what about
it's everything except for the product?
Exactly. And I just think that we have to, until that shifts more into the experience on the technical side, which Bruce mentioned. It's going to slowly, at a snail's pace, get better. It's not going to get better rapidly because we have too many people that don't have the experience making these decisions. And I agree. And I see that at the MLS level, and it kills me. It's like, and there's so many different aspects of where you got the business side and the soccer side, and neither one of them, they don't connect. There's no connection. It's just you do your thing, I do my thing on the soccer side, and it's basically like two different lives.
And hope that it connects.
Fella,
here's my take on it, right? I think we're just living in a bunch of fluff, right? With U.S. Soccer, we have the money, we have the finances, and we're trying to kind of fake our way into being a soccer nation, and also buy our way into being a soccer nation, and we're not worrying about the root of the game. And the reason I say that is that I look at the landscape growing up in the ODP pyramid, and now looking at the academy process. And I understand why we went to academy process, and I fully backed it. I thought it was the right thing to do. But there's no accountability, right? And another problem into the game is that U.S. Soccer, we have players playing overseas in Europe, but are these players really standout players on these teams? Are these players who are really players who affect the wins and losses of these teams? We had a discussion prior about Gio Reyna, right? Said he's a great player for his age group, but Gio doesn't decide if Dortmund wins or not. If he doesn't play a game for the rest of the season, it wouldn't change the results of Dortmund, right? And what I'm saying is this: that we have the name players, we have the name ballers, as we like to say, but are these name ballers really, they have a sensibility that they don't have no competition. Like everybody should have a competition 4 deep on the national team. For us to really be successful in the world. That where Gio Reyna feels that if he's not getting played at Dortmund, that he will not start on the national team. That people like Zach Steffen, if he's not playing at Man City, he will not start on the national team. If we don't have that, we won't get the real results to really beat teams. We're playing versus Northern Ireland. I don't know one player for Northern Ireland besides Evans who didn't play, right? Jamaican national team was a pickup team, a team that was picked up at the hotel and put together just for that game. And if you don't want to talk about the 2 games prior, and we haven't looked great. In those 4 games we played in the last couple of friendlies, we have looked average. We scored against Jamaica off of a dive penalty and a deflection. And we didn't have great chances. So in reality, we have to keep it real, that we are not this silky, smooth team that has great quality players that we can play Brazilian style football.
I Yeah, and I think I agree with one thing you said as far as
Only one.
the being being a deep national team. I think the U23 is not qualifying for the Olympics showed the depth and how far it is from our first team. Because I mean that's basically our C team or whatever you want to call it. That obviously you got our first 11, but then you got even like the Wayas and the Jordan Sabachus, and they might not start, but they're in the mix. But then after that, that 23 team is some of the players that would make up that depth chart for the national team. You know what I'm saying? So if you take all those players and it's like, okay, well, if something happens to the Christians and the McKinneys and all these guys, then who do we play? Is it going to be like Ewell? Is it going to be? I mean, I can't think of all the names that played in the midfield, but just things like that. Like
Acosta.
if something happens,
Yeah.
our depth chart isn't as strong as maybe we thought it was going to be.
There's a huge generation gap as well. There's like a age group that just is non-existent within the consideration for our national teams whatsoever. As you said, like Leggett was like, I'm the oldest person at 28. You know what I mean? And he's looking at everybody like
it doesn't have that many caps.
Doesn't have I don't know how many caps he has. It's a different era, right? The national team, and they started this a couple of years ago, and it's.
But Gooch, people are frustrated that we spending this money, we have this infrastructure, and we have these resources, and we're not getting the results, and then people feel like it's just no pressure. And again,
I said it before, and I'll say it again. We started on a road once Greg Berhalter took, driver's seat, right? Where they were going to invest in the national team was going to transform from whatever it was in the past to this new young national team, right? For better or for worse. We have players playing at big clubs, playing in Europe, etc. There's all this excitement. I've always said, I was like, look, everyone's like, what do you think is wrong with the national team? I'm like, look, at the moment, whether Greg's the right coach or not, he is the coach. So you have to ride it out. Whether these players are the right players or not, this is the option that they chose. This is the door they walked through. So everyone's frustrated, but patience is what we're going to need to have, because everyone's like, we're not doing this. These players, the average age is what, 21, 22 years old. Like,
Luka,
he doesn't need to have it. Regardless whether he has it or not. The reality is, I'm being objective. Like, you're just going to have to wait, right? And they're going to have to, if they don't do it immediately, they're going to have to grow into what you want them to become, because you don't want to wait. So, okay, let's say we scrap them all. What's the next batch?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think because you see it, and something I do too when I watch it, you see our national team, and that is our national team. But you have to understand, and we realize that some are 17, 18, 19 years old. That's the path what Gucci's talking about. That's what we're going with. There's no more of the well, I mean, I don't know. We haven't seen the roster and the snap, but maybe not no more of the Bradleys and the Altidores. And, I think the elder statesman is Reem. There's no more of, I mean, maybe Brad was out. Maybe he not, I'm just saying, but he played against, no, I see your face. He played against Northern Ireland. But I'm saying, like, that is the path that we're going with. It's the young path. But I just think, I'm not going to use the word harsh. I don't think you're being harsh. I just think that we have to realize that these kids, they're still kids. Yes, they're professional.
I know these, but
they're only 19 years old.
Yeah, but you're not saying that about Mbappe when he was 19 years old. People say he should have scored this.
But look who had around him. The whole team. The whole team is under 20, 22 years old. You cannot expect them to be.
So another thing that, again, I'm just giving you feedback from the coaches nationwide, right? I'm on panels and discussions, and one thing that's frustrating to watch that people are expressing is the lack of creativity that we have and the lack of finishing product that we have on our Olympic roster and senior roster. And they feel that, especially for the Olympic roster, if you look at those games they played, that it wasn't great football. It wasn't attacking football. And they lose to a team like Honduras, who is don't have the resources we have, but they had the passion, they had the want, and they feel like we're not hungry enough. They feel that it's too much fluff, that they're living in a fantasy world, right? And they don't have that hunger, and we're not developing the right type of kids, the right type of players who want more and have no other choice but this game. How do you guys think about that? And what do you guys think about that?
And I think that's one thing that we can't lose as a soccer nation. What we have always been about, and you've heard it before, I've heard it before, is that, and Gucci, we lived it. Anytime we stepped on the field, we always thought we could win the game.
Yep.
Always. We had that mentality that we could always win the game. We weren't as talented as the Brazils and the Germanys and Italys and all these other teams, but we felt that we had a chance to win the match.
That also went to our coach, put that mentality in us.
But I just said, we're not in the locker room. We're not in the locker room to say it. So I'm only going on things that we see, that I can see and talk about. Like, I don't know what Christ and CJ said to the boys before the game. We have no idea. We don't know what type of coach they really are, to be honest. But you cannot, as a U.S. soccer national team player, not lose the fight and the passion and the drive to play for the national team and to win football matches. You can't, because sometimes we're not going to be the best team on the pitch, but our desire and our grit and our fighting spirit, that got us over the edge in a lot of games. How many games did we win in the 89th minute to teams that probably shouldn't have won, or we got a draw? And then we're like, oh man, the boys didn't play great, but they showed that spirit. If we can figure out how to mix that, the old style. Yes, are the players more talented than what we were? Yes, I 100% say that. Were they more talented than we were? Yeah, but we had something that they are still trying to get. What I'm saying? That desire, and to be fun,
and to be honest,
I think it's slowly getting there. But this is what I'm talking about, the Olympic team. But it's got to start young. It's got to start at the younger. It's got to start at the younger age with the national team, and how we the never give up attitude. I know it's really cliche to say, but that's what we were built on. We were the fittest team, but you add that with the technique and the
and the IQ
that we have now, and obviously the intelligence to play the game. You put all that together, and you have a really good national team.
But watching the USA game, do you see a lack of fight?
All right, it's not the same it's not the same identity. I'm not even going to use culture, because I think a lot of people misuse that word. So the identity is different from like the national teams that me and Bees were on even prior. I would compare the talent level of our current pool to that of the talent level of Belgium in 2014, right? They were good. They were young, and everyone was like, watch. I actually told people, I was like, watch in 2018, because I played with half of these kids when they were like 17, 18, 19 in Belgium. I'm like, these are good players. I believe that this core group can grow to have that kind of impact. What do they need? They need a leader at the helm that's going to do it. What I didn't like after the Olympic failure of qualifying was some of Christ's comments in the media. I'm going to read them right now. He said, we have players that aren't moving. We have players on the ball that aren't committing defenders to make decisions to open up spaces. We have guys that look like they just don't want the ball. And so it just kind of goes back to most mentality for me. So for me, I'm like, okay, you saying all this stuff, you pick these guys, right? These are your choices. These are your picks, whether it be second picks, third picks, fourth picks, they're your picks, right? So one, the coach has to have an understanding of the players. The players have to have an understanding of each other. There has to be a level of fluidity and comfort. And I think that transcends also to the men's national team. You don't see that comfort, fluidity, understanding, because nobody really knows their role yet. Like, I don't think Greg has stamped an 11 or a 10 or a 9 players that are like their core group. Bees, correct me if I'm wrong, but anytime we went to the national team, we probably knew, like, before we went to the camp, probably guaranteed 7 players are going to start, right? Probably. And that, whether
you had that now, Gooch. You have the McKennies, the Pulisic, the Dest. the Zach Steffen.
But they're not always in camp.
The Aaron Brooks.
They're not always in camp. So then, like, every camp is kind of like on edge. Who's going to start now? Is this my opportunity to break? There's a level of anxiousness within the players, and you see it because they're afraid to make mistakes sometimes when they should just be playing free. And I think that's what's missing. I think once we get to a level where one pandemic doesn't help, but like camps, and okay, this is your 11 or this is your 8 or this is your 9 players. And then other players know, okay, I need to break into this. This is my role right now, but I need to break into this.
Isn't that what you want? You want the kind of the players to not just know they're going to start?
Yeah.
What's that?
Isn't that what you
feel
want?
so comfortable. You don't want the players to feel so comfortable that they automatically have a starting position.
No, but it's okay because comfort level doesn't mean that you don't know your starting position. You can be a starter and know that you're at danger at any moment to lose it. So it's actually going to boost your performance because you know that the next person is just as good to be a starter as well. But right now you're in favor. Just like in club team, Bees, sometimes you weren't a starter and then boom, you've been playing well, you're a starter now. And the guy that was starting in front of you is now on the bench. Like it can yo-yo like that. And that's what you need, some kind of consistency, some kind of like hierarchy.
But with a young team, that's not really a good, environment to have where you're a 19, 20, 21-year-old player and you come into a national team and you just know you're going to start. I think that's that.
Listen,
I think
I don't think
more of a fight.
Yeah, but the thing is that if you're a 19, 20, like you just said, a 19, 20-year-old shouldn't think that he's going to start. But the person that's going to be behind him is another 19, 20, 21-year-old. There's no other option right now. Who else? If you take out our
Silky and Gio,
take out
Silky and Gio,
take out Ring, and you can even take out Sebastian, but no, you don't have to take out Ring.
Gooch loves Sebastian. Gooch loves Sebastian. He has to stay.
Okay, I'm not just listen to what I'm saying. You take out those two guys, and that even puts our average age even lower. So if you don't start Aaron, or you don't start Christian, or you don't start, say, Jordan or Sebastian, sorry, not Sebastian, the forward, what's his name? Bremen.
Oh,
Sergeant, Josh.
Yeah, Sergeant. All the players that can replace them are all 19 and 20 years old. Who else is there? I'm just refuting your point because you said, a 19, 20, 21-year-old. I know I'm nitpicking, trust me, I know I'm nitpicking, but you said, a 19, 20, 20-year-old can't, just think he's going to start. But the people that's going to fight for his spot are the same age. Because that's
but again, like this is a discussion. I'm bringing up different things just to talk about. But we said two different things, right? We said initially that we needed a deep position, that people have that competition, that when they come into the camp, they know they have to perform to be able to get a chance to start, right? Not just because what club they came from, they opportunities. Then we said, the Gooch said that when you guys played, you knew you had 7 or 8 guys that was definitely going to start. Let's keep it real. You guys at certain times didn't achieve what you needed to do, right? So Gooch, was that all of it the best? Was that the best scenario to have it where 7 or 8 guys knew they were going to start and it knew that they were going to have a role regardless? I mean, I understand that roles have to be clear. That's
sport, buddy. That's sport.
I think at that time, I think that was best for our group.
Yeah.
Or you wasn't that deep. You had no choice.
Yeah, we had that as well.
Probably.
I like the competition. I like what you said about, the guys shouldn't come in thinking that they, automatically going to start. I like that.
But you can't separate understanding that you're going to start to eliminating competition within that. It doesn't go separate. My whole point is it actually increases the competition, right? Because just like now we have Zach Steffen at Man City, right? He's a starter right now. He's not playing. Just like you said, right now you put him as a starting goalkeeper. But if this continues, he's not playing, somebody's going to leapfrog him. Even though he knows right now, he should leapfrog. He probably in the back of his mind knows, shoot, if I keep making these errors where the ball bumps over my foot, and like that, they're going to attribute that to me not playing. Somebody else going to play is going to take my position.
But to be fair, he's done this numerous times of games since he's been at Man City.
Yeah,
the national team. You know, and again, fellas, I don't know the right answer. I'm not saying I do, right? And I just think I'm so grateful to have this discussion with you guys, right? Because, you know, you hear from the outsiders all the time about what's wrong with the U.S. national team, what's wrong with U.S. soccer, right? But some things are reality. That's why I say about fluff. And I'm glad, Blees, we spoke about earlier, like the mentality you guys had that worked for you guys. And we have to find that blend, right? But I just think that we just kidding ourselves that we have people who are playing at big clubs, but they're not world-class players yet. But Gooch, what you said about the Belgium team was spot on and made me excited. Do you say that 2014 when they didn't do as well, but he had all this young talent and you told people wait till 2018? So it has me believing that, you know, not in 2 years, but maybe in 6 years.
So are you one of the believers that we're gonna win the World Cup in 2026?
Here's the problem. If I don't wake up in the morning and believe that, what the hell we doing?
I'm asking you a question.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a person who trains and develops players. If I don't wake up in the morning and think that we have a talent pool in the U.S. and a system U.S. that can 2026 win the World Cup, what the hell are we getting up for?
I believe that in 2026 we can compete for that World Cup. I think some of the deciding factors, especially in the tournament format, is the history and the knowledge and the understanding and how to play in a tournament and how to win a tournament. If we continue to play in tournaments or not qualify for tournaments or not win tournaments, you're not going to know how to handle the pressures of that situations when you get to it. Just like when we were in the before the World Cup, the Confederations Cup final with Brazil. It's the first time we've been in a high level.
I did so well.
We did so well, but like we won gold cups and all this, but that level, we didn't know how to retain that lead and we lost it, right? And that goes with experience. Like if we were maybe another experienced national team that has been to that level, we would know how to kind of condition the game and kind of temper it. Maybe we'd win the game 2-0, maybe we'd win the game 2-1, but we'd end up winning, right? So there has to be some kind of system understanding or repetition of winning. We can't just say, oh, we got the good players, we're going to win. They've never won anything.
That's all I'm saying.
What you said?
If I would have played, we would have won.
I agree.
I agree too.
No, I'm just bullshit.
No, I agree. Listen, though, Goose, you got me excited, right? About the 2014, 2018, right? Unfortunately, I think that it's a little scary. I'm trying to project for you guys. I'm a center midfielder. I like to see the vision, right? Is that if Christian doesn't really get a chance to prove himself at Chelsea, that he might have issues for next season, right? Because their ambitions and aspirations are very high. Weston McKennie, who I think is the best player we have in U.S. soccer, is at Juventus. They just re-signed him. He's doing great. But if Juventus doesn't win the league this year, they have to bring in top name players. And inside that midfield is going to be harder than this season, even though he proved himself, harder than this season to get on that starting 11 and get games every
even if they don't.
That's every big club, though.
Oh no, but still, Bees, I'm just keeping it real with you.
But I'm saying like that's.
And then Zach Steffen.
Every player, Steffen is a different case, but every player that goes to. I mean, to be honest, any.
All
club,
right, but how's that going to affect our national team if we have
that's a hypothetical question.
Not playing?
I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe
we might be in trouble.
Because I mean, we thought that Weston and Christian would never even play at Chelsea and Juventus. I didn't see that.
Who's we?
I'm talking about fans. I'm not talking about me. I always said they're going to play, but they said it, and look what they've done. Yes, Weston is as I wouldn't say overachieved. I think that he's showing what he's about. He couldn't be showing it when he's Schalke and aspects and games.
I would say that he's exceeded a lot of people's expectations.
Yeah, he definitely. And I think even the Juventus fans, even
is
Pirlo,
he clearly the best player in soccer?
Yeah. What's that?
Even though he wasn't hit his last 2 games, you can see the difference in what's missing when Weston is there and he's not there.
Yeah, and why can't Weston be their midfield? Why can't they build a team or a midfield around him? That's not the craziest thing to say.
No, it's
because
just.
he brings an element to the game where no one else brings at Juventus.
Only thing Weston has going against them is the big names. Like you win it.
I don't think. Look. If a big name comes to Juventus, he still has to prove himself. At the end of the day, I guarantee because Juventus is a big enough club where if the guy, everyone makes a lot of money, but if the guy that you bought for 40, 50, 60, 70 million dollars ain't playing, he's gonna be on the bench. They are there to win games. And if Weston McKennie is the best option for you to win a soccer match, he's gonna play. It does not matter how much they bought whoever for.
That sounds good.
I think the biggest danger for these players, like for
that sounds good, but business don't run that way, man.
One sec. Is if the coaches that brought it. Wait. If the coaches that brought him in, if next season they're not there, for example, if Juventus don't win or whatever, and Pirlo's not there anymore, right?
Yeah, that's different.
Or if the coach at Man City changes and now Zach is completely off the radar for whoever they bring in, et cetera. So.
But you listen. If De Bruyne gets bought by Juventus, you think they're gonna play West over him?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Right? If they go and spend $80 million on a center midfield,
why is it him that's gotta go?
Huh?
Why is it gotta be between Weston? I mean, I'm just
and again,
why is it gotta be Weston? Why is it gotta be Weston?
We're not talking about skill level.
They're totally two different players.
I think West. I'm saying.
So why can't it be
because the depth chart? Somebody else has to move. You know, West is
Rabiot
first. He can play anywhere.
Got to move out. I'm riding with Weston.
I'm riding with Weston too. I'm just talking about this is the things that it could possibly happen. Like we're in a situation where they're that close that this situation is that delicate, right? And these are people that is vital players for U.S. World Cup. And I'm trying to tell you, if these players are not playing next year, it's going to affect our World Cup qualifying form.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm just saying, with Weston, he is helping them win matches. You see and we're talking about Juventus now, a club that's won the.
All right, transition.
10 years in a row.
Yeah, I'm about to chop each other's heads off for this. Weston's doing fine. He'll be fine.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot going on in U.S. soccer, but I think this conversation today was definitely something that I know I personally got out of.
And new. And new. Because we don't have a guest today.
Yeah, and you have a guest today. But for me, though, I think that, I think one thing I take away from today is patience. Things are not built overnight. And also 2014, 2018 Belgium. So I think realistically, we have to look for 2026 as a point where we can really judge what has been going on in this country the past 10 years to really see if any fruit and value. So I think Beasley really thinks we're going to win the World Cup in 2026. So we should go off of that,
I'm just excited that I'm not the only one being called Wi-Fi beast.
I never cut out, boy. I was just.
That's what I'm proud of. This is the second time that Wi-Fi Gooch has appeared on this show. So it's not just me. It's not just my Wi-Fi. Oguchi, Onyewu.
Yeah, but tell me, I came back. You dropped off the whole show.
I tried to get back on. Y'all wouldn't let me in the room.
Well, listen, I want everybody out there, please, right? We spoke about a lot today, a lot of opinions. We want to hear from you, right? We want to hear from your starting 11. We want to hear, was Josie comment racist? We want to hear, is Taylor Twellman doing too much? We want to hear what Bruce Arena said. Do you agree or disagree with that? And, your voice counts. And we want a situation that, gentlemen, I'm telling you, in the future, we're going to do a live podcast to have our crack crew be able to talk to us directly and comment and call in. So be on hold for that. Like Bees always say, like, subscribe, rate, and all be safe out there, right? Thanks to everybody for tuning in, and peace.
Peace.